Damocles was a man who loved a good life. He enjoyed fine food, beautiful clothes, and spending time with friends. But there was one thing that made him really unhappy. His boss, King Dionysius. The king was incredibly rich and powerful. He lived in a huge palace with gold everywhere and had servants to do everything for him. Damocles was very jealous of the king. He dreamed of having all the king's things, a big house, lots of money, and people who would do everything for him. He thought the king's life must be perfect. If he were the king, every day he would have a big party with delicious food, good music, and beautiful women. Damocles often imagined himself in the king's place. He would walk around the palace, giving orders to everyone.
Hey you! Give me this! Bring me that! Hurry up!
He would wear a fancy crown and sit on a golden throne. It was a wonderful dream, but it was just a dream. One day, Damocles was talking to some friends about how lucky the king was. He was so jealous that he couldn't stop complaining. Little did he know, the king was listening. The king heard everything. He smiled to himself. He knew exactly what to do. The next day, he called Damocles to the palace. Damocles was so excited. He thought the king was finally going to give him a promotion, a lot of money, another donkey, or maybe even a new wife. When Damocles arrived, the king welcomed him warmly. Then he made a surprising offer.
Damocles,
the king said,
I think you would be a great king. Why don't you try it for a day?
Damocles couldn't believe his ears. He was going to be king. He was so happy he could hardly speak. The king helped Damocles put on a beautiful purple robe and a golden crown. Then, he led Damocles to his throne. It was bigger and shinier than Damocles had ever imagined. Damocles sat down and felt like the most important person in the world. But as Damocles looked around the room, he noticed something strange. Right above his head, hanging from the ceiling by a single horsehair, was a sharp sword. Damocles' heart started to race. He tried to look away, but he couldn't. The sword was huge and scary. He wanted to run straight away, but Dionysius told him,
You're the king now. You must stay seated on your throne.
Damocles was not able to enjoy anything. He couldn't focus on the music. He didn't even look at all the girls. He barely touched his food. All he kept thinking about was that sword above his head.
What if it falls and kills me?
Every little sound made him jump. The slightest breeze caused the sword to sway, and Damocles would grip the arms of the throne tightly. He just wanted to go home. He missed the simple pleasures of his old life. He missed his friends and his freedom. He began to understand why the king had done this. He realized that the king's life was not as carefree as he had imagined. All the riches and power in the world couldn't make Damocles feel safe. Finally, Damocles couldn't take it anymore. He begged the king to let him down from the throne.
I don't want to be king anymore,
he pleaded.
Please, let me go back to my old life.
The king smiled and helped Damocles off the throne.
You see, Damocles,
the king said,
with great power comes great responsibility, and with great power also comes great fear. The life of a king is not as easy as it seems. Now go wash my donkey.
Damocles was grateful to be back to his old life. He never complained about the king again. In fact, he learned to appreciate the simple things in life. And he never forgot the lesson he learned that day. Sometimes the grass isn't always greener on the other side.